When we woke up on this day, it was my oldest daughter's 9th birthday. The years keep going by so quick, but like they say, sometimes the days are very long. This RV living situation is temporary, and it's not always ideal, but we try to make the most of it and create special memories, especially on these birthdays and holidays. We try not to treat it like it's any different than it would be if we were in a house or a permanent living situation. Even though we're in a small space, I like to continue and create these habits within reason that match the life that I want to live, even if I was in my dream home. So I'd like to take you along for a day of homemaking in our tiny RV home. Just for a little backstory, I'm not sure if I've shared this here yet, but we got this fifth wheel when my husband had a remote job. So we planned to travel the country, do the homeschooling on the road thing, and figure out where we really want to settle down in our lives eventually. We're not really sure if we want to live where we are now forever, so that was our plan. It was a grand plan, and then his job became not remote right after we bought this fifth wheel. We had already moved in, and so what we did was we moved onto a friend's farm. They had RV hookups, and we lived there thinking it would just be a few months, and then he would maybe either be able to find another remote job or his job would loosen up their rules again. And that just never happened. And we ended up on our friend's property for about a year. And that was such an awesome time, actually. We have so many fun memories from that time. Us and our friends were really able to support each other and do that community living type thing where if my friend needed to run out, I could watch all the kids in the backyard, or vice versa. If I needed to go to an appointment, she could watch my kids, and it was just so nice to be next door and just like living life together in that way. And my husband also learned how to milk the cow while we lived there. We were able to farm sit. We even had a farm sitting experience where we had to save a baby sheep, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, we got really close with the other couple, and our kids were and are still best friends with their kids, and so that was just such a fun experience we didn't expect to have moving into the fifth wheel. So about a year went by, and where we were living with our friends on their farm, it didn't have full hookups. It had hookups, but it wasn't as convenient as full hookups. We had to fill our water tank to use it, and then my husband would have to empty our gray and black tank into a tote and roll it down the driveway and empty it. And in the winter, that got really difficult. So we stayed there about a year, and then when we were over the filling and emptying of the tanks manually every day, we found another friend who had a vacant property, and that's where we're at now. We're on their 5-acre property that has RV hookups, and it's been a really good deal because we are able to use the whole 5 acres. Our dogs and our kids can play and run, and yeah, it's just been really nice. So we've been here for also about a year and a half. So it's also been really great to be here, but our RV life isn't serving a greater purpose anymore. We're not saving money. Rentals are about the same that we pay for our property lease and our RV payment. We're not building a house, and we're not traveling the country like we dreamed of in the first place. So you might wonder why we're still doing it. We have to sell the RV before we can do anything different. So if you're in the market for a cozy, beautiful RV that is easy to live in throughout the year, let me know. Really not bad if you have a purpose for it, if you have a means to an end, if you're doing it for a good reason. But now that we've been sitting in it stationary for over 2 years, we are ready for the next thing. We need more space, and I'm really feeling that now that we have our 4th baby. And I think just the end of pregnancy, feeling very large, and now I have a baby strapped to me all the time. I actually always dreamed of living in a tiny house. Well, not always. The beginning of me and Paul's relationship, we would watch those tiny house shows that were kind of popular 10 to 12 years ago. So this was at the beginning of our marriage. And I'm really glad that we were able to do this. I always dreamed about decorating it and remodeling it and making things just kind of fit perfectly in there and only having what we needed. And so we were able to do that, and it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot about living simply, consuming less, and making much more intentional choices about what we bring into our house. It's really taught us to be flexible, and it's helped us to practice gratitude, because even on difficult and overwhelming days, we can reel it in and remind ourselves how good we actually do have it. We might live in a small space right now, but we have our health, we have a warm home and a roof over our heads, we have food and clothing, and we're so blessed with all the time that we get to spend together as a family. I would always choose living this way with a family full of love over living in a mansion with shallow relationships. So I worked with this brand and they sent me dinnerware, and I wasn't required to share on my YouTube channel about them. I just sent them a separate video for them to use on their product page on Amazon. But I just wanted to share my video that I created. I'll just share a part of it here. I'm really liking them, so I put them in my Amazon storefront, and I will link them in the description below. But I'm loving how sturdy they are. They hold up really well with all of our small kids, and just look how nice and neat they look in our cabinet. So it's really nice for a small space to have dishes like this, so I just wanted to share those. We are having to give ourselves the constant reminder to be grateful for what we do have, and just to remember that this is so short and temporary. So for our oldest daughter's birthday, we made homemade pizza and cake and whatever she wanted that day we made for her meals, and we just really enjoyed it. We made a huge mess. We had so many dishes we had to hand wash, but we just had a really good time. And every day I might not want to do all those dishes or spend all that time in the kitchen, but it's such a fun way to just really enjoy celebrating and making the best meal that we possibly can. I recently got a grain mill, so that's something that we've been practicing and playing with and using to make any of our sourdough and baked goods and things like that at home. And it's been a lot of fun. We made pizza, we made that cake there, the olive oil cake. We made the Dutch baby that morning. So basically just anything that we use flour for, we're just using our fresh milled flour for the recipes. So I'm just learning what kinds of grains to use for what kind of wheat berries to use for what situations, and how to get a finer flour, and sometimes you can sift it, you can sift a ratio of it, and so that's been a lot of fun to learn and play with. And it doesn't take up too much space. I think it's definitely worth having in our RV.
Like a third of it.
For us, we prioritize certain things, and our health is one of those things. And so having certain appliances like a grain mill would be a priority to us, is a priority to us, so that we can be intentional about the kinds of flour that we are consuming. So I would say for living in a space like this, it's all about your priorities and not trying to have everything, but having the things that are important to you that do give you what is a better quality of life for you personally. So another birthday celebration has come and gone, and we'll probably have a few more while we live in this RV. And we will look back at these times with fond memories. I know we will always look back at this chapter of our life and remember the good times that we have, and we'll probably laugh at some of the hard times that we've had. But either way, life goes on, and there's just so much more beyond your living space that creates a beautiful life.